What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to yet another episode of the Biz Bites and More podcast. This is episode 83. Don't quote me on it. It's 83. And it is April 21st, 2021, the day after 420. Oh, sorry, stoners. Guys, I am your host. This is Grayson. And if you're like, oh, where the fuck is Josh? Well, that's because this is a lunch hour with guests. So if you can see me on YouTube, if you're hearing that I only did one host, yes, we are doing lunch hour with guests, volume 8. And don't quote me on that either. I think it's volume 8. And I have a very special friend with me today. It is Sawyer. I'm not going to do the last name, just for privacy, right? This is Sawyer. Man, how are you, dude? How are you doing?
Doing good, man. Happy to be here. 83rd episode. I wish it was a cooler number, but
yeah,
all good.
Yeah. I mean, hey, what can you do?
But I didn't know you did so many episodes already. 83. That's a lot, bro. You've been grinding.
Yeah, I mean, it's what I like to say. I'm like, if you want to, you can go back and listen to the first few, but they are really, really shitty. So it's
Same
like
thing with my shoe videos that we did. The first few videos are
dire shit.
like, whoa.
After this, I was actually gonna ask you, like, how do you do that production? It's like you get like, does your girlfriend do it or?
She does a lot of the video editing.
Okay.
We actually have this. Actually, it's right here. We got this dope camera and a microphone.
Oh, nice.
So we just film it, and then I got this laptop that I'm on now. It's a Mac laptop. It can handle. We do it all on iMovie.
Oh, damn. Okay. Yeah.
It's actually really easy.
Dude, I gotta step up my game because my brother just got he used to just do it like all the podcasts through the little headphones micro. It's been pretty awful. But
you literally learn so much. You learn so much just by doing it. Every time you do it, you learn something more. It's interesting. You can't practice it. You just got to do it and post it, and you learn from that. So on your 83rd episode, I would imagine you've learned endless stuff about what you do.
You're giving me more credit than I deserve, but I
small
appreciate
little details, small little things you don't even realize you learn by just doing it.
That's true. That's true. You start picking up stuff that's like just easier, like topics that are like fun to talk about versus like, you don't want to talk about like waste management's like earnings every single like that's just gonna kill you.
So and all that stuff is hard. It's hard to keep. It's hard to keep talking on the internet entertaining.
Yeah, well, thank God for the news. Well, I mean, I'm gonna say that's a double-edged sword right there. Thank God for the news because it spits out enough stories, that I can use for later. But man,
I want to say thank God.
It's been like, I mean, definitely 10 years since I have seen you like this. So right. I mean, where are you now? I mean, are you in Ohio or?
Yeah, it's been 10 years, bro. I think it's about 10 years exactly. I'm in Akron, Ohio still.
Gotcha.
I went to Arizona for a semester, failed out of college real quick. Got drunk, passed out a few times, got blacked out a few times.
Hey, Bill Gates
got into a bunch of bad stuff down in Arizona, failed out, came back to Akron, started working.
Yeah.
And 10 years later, working, I got sober 5 years ago.
Dude,
and now I'm in Akron, Ohio.
There we
Akron,
go,
Ohio,
man.
Chilling, grinding.
Love to hear.
Trying to live my best life, man.
Running that hill, man. I love it.
Yeah, you've seen the hill, bro. The hill is my healing sanctuary. You go give that hill all you got.
That's what
you'll be feeling good.
I love it. All right, man. Well, so let's just let's get into these questions. So like I was telling you, and for any of the listeners that haven't heard it before, lunch hour with guest it's in the title. What do you do on your lunch hour? You go with your coworkers, you talk with them for a while, you chill, you talk about stuff that you couldn't normally talk about in an office setting, obviously. Right. So this is volume 8, and we just do kind of 3 segments, and we just go through questions throughout. I usually find out a little bit more about my guests so that I can actually ask them questions that aren't just off the cuff. So let's jump into it, man. So you're a sneakerhead. You do Sire shoes, or is it okay? Sire shoes,
Sire shoes, yep.
So I am not. I'm not a sneakerhead. So if you were to give anybody their like first recommendation for a first, like a beginner's, like a really good, solid collect, like, because it seems like you like more of the collectibles in style, like
Right.
very nice to wear around, durable. So what would you go with?
If you had to get one shoe, man,
If you had just had it, because they cost
that
a
is a
lot.
great question.
They cost a lot, man. I
Yeah.
mean, yeah.
And honestly, I'm getting in. I'm gonna keep it 100. So speaking of the expense, real quick, I'm getting into the fake shoe game, bro. These fake shoes are getting so good, bro. The same people who make the real shoes make the fake shoes now. You know how corrupt China is with all their business and how they take
Yeah.
our intellectual property and all that stuff,
Yeah.
bro. They do the same thing with our shoes. If you think that they're not scared to steal our shoe designs, you're crazy. They'll take our iPhone intellectual property. They'll take our shoe property. When China makes a shoe for Nike, so say Nike orders 200,000 shoes, bam, they make 200,000 shoes. And then they say, okay, Nike's order's done, ship those to Nike. Let's make some more.
Yeah.
It's literally the same people, same machine making the fake shoes. And the real ones go for $1,000, and the fake ones, everybody thinks they're fake. You know, if one person wants people to keep hating fake shoes, it's Nike.
Yeah. So is it more like you have to buy like a local, like from a local shop or something? Is that?
You talking about as far as buying fakes?
Yeah, like to curb that. Is that the best way to go about them,
I
or?
mean, if I'm buying fakes, I met this dude at my gym who like has a connect in like India who makes fakes.
Oh,
But I'll get off the fake topic because now I was talking about the expense. But to talk about like to get I mean, I do like real shoes too. If I can get a real shoe, I'll get the real one. If you got to get one shoe, man, you can't go wrong with the Jordan 1 Chicago,
Okay.
Jordan 1, the basic Jordan 1.
Gotcha.
I would probably get a Jordan 1 and look at all the colorways, see what colorway you like.
To start out your collection, that's what that would be like the kind of the centerpiece. Okay. I
I would
like
go
it.
the Jordan 1.
I like it. I like it. All right. All right. So switching up into sports a little more. So NBA, NFL, MLB, overrated, underrated, just fine where it's at. What are you
Yeah.
thinking?
Man, that's a good question. MLB overrated because I'm gonna keep it 100. I love softball, bro.
Oh.
Dude,
Whoa.
women's softball is a
I got a
great sport.
softball fanatic.
Women's
Okay.
softball is a great sport. First off, the first reason I love it, it's 60-foot base paths. So
Oh, okay.
every play in the infield is bang bang. They're a
Gotcha.
2/3 the length of the base paths. Every play is bang bang. If you dribble one into the infield, it's gonna be tight. You're not crow hopping, taking 3 steps. And when you throw a ball in the dirt, they throw it back to the pitcher. They don't throw it into the dugout. Ball goes in the dirt, they throw it back to the pitcher. They don't play no games. They ain't doing their fucking
I love it.
batting gloves outside. They're getting down to
I
business.
love it.
And honestly, I'm not even trying to sound like some, sexist guy, but a lot of them are hot.
Yeah.
A lot of these pitchers are hot. You watched the College
athletic.
World Series?
No, I did not. No.
Oh, dude, you got to tune into the College Softball World Series, man. I'm telling you, it is lit.
Yes.
So first off, I like women's softball more than the MLB, hands down. We actually had there was like 6 professional softball teams in Akron, Ohio. Or no, in the world. They were like in Japan, Texas, Chicago, and just so happens, Akron, Ohio had a professional softball team, the Akron Racers.
Go Racers. I love it.
Dude, and they're lit and they're so good. I mean, I could tell you 10 stars right now who are absolute stars.
Gotcha.
AJ Andrews, first Gold Glover, star, stud, pure talent. I mean, entertainment. And their pitches, dude. How do they do that? Their pitches underhand?
Yeah.
That's skills.
How fast is like the fastest? Do you know?
I think they throw about 70, but I think because it's closer, it's about it looks like 100. Right?
Oh yeah. Because
you know how the Little League baseball, they throw it slower, but because it's closer to the plate, it like is equivalent to a faster pitch.
Yeah,
I think that they throw about 70. I think, but it's equivalent to 100-mile-an-hour heater.
So MLB is overrated, but softball is slept on.
Underrated.
I like it.
Way underrated.
I love it.
NFL, I love the NFL, but
you can always just
get credit.
You can go with it just fine. Okay.
It's just fun. Yeah.
Okay. All right. NBA.
NBA is struggling so hard without fans, bro.
Yeah.
I was watching.
Like in the arenas.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
watching. I watched the bubble playoffs. I watched the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah.
I'm from Akron, Ohio. You
Yep.
know, while I may disagree with LeBron and a lot of his personal beliefs, I grew up a LeBron James fan. He
Yeah.
was drafted when I was 8 years old, and I
Yeah.
got a
Yeah.
kid. A dude went to high school 5 minutes away from me, and now he's the best player on my team,
Yeah.
and he's
Yeah.
shitting on the whole NBA.
Mm-hmm.
Can't. I mean, that altered my view of sports.
Yeah. It was
I was
legendary.
like spoiled.
Yeah.
As soon as I'm able to understand sports, I'm like 9 or 8. As soon as I'm able to understand sports, my home team has a guy from my hometown shitting on the entire league. It changed my view of sports. So I have a huge thing for LeBron, but so I watched the bubble, and it's just not the same, dude. If you watch the bubble playoffs compared to a crowd who's whited out, everybody's wearing white or everybody's wearing black and it's a blackout and everybody's going
Cheering.
nuts.
Yeah.
Bro, that is a completely different
atmosphere.
product.
Yeah.
Oh my God, completely different content, completely different product.
So a little overrated then, right?
It's overrated right now, but if they get their fans back and they get the energy back, I think they'll be right on track.
I got you. So, well, with that, like, so LeBron. So, do you know what happened in like soccer recently about with the whole Super League?
I'm actually interested in this. I just heard about this, and they're saying you can't compete in all the other leagues if you join the
Yeah.
Super League.
Well, so a lot of people were comparing it, and I mean, like it or not, LeBron has definitely been accused of this, and Kevin Durant and everyone else. But like, doesn't the NFL and the NBA and the MLB for that matter kind of have like almost their super teams, within a league?
See, that's
Like,
why I love the NFL. Now, am I wrong to say that every NFL team has the same dough? The MLB is not even close. The Indians spend like a third of what the Yankees spend.
yeah.
But the
Well,
NFL, I kind of feel like they all got dough.
yeah. I mean,
That's why I like the NFL. I feel like anybody can compete. Look at Green Bay. There's literally
yeah.
100,000 people in Green Bay, and they compete every year.
And they also have that whole like they can be like stockholders
Right.
which is a very cool concept. Well, yeah, I don't know if like Cincinnati and like the Patriots in 2017 had the same, you know what I'm saying? Like the same, like caps, but just because they're getting more eyes, more people are filling the stands. I don't know
Yeah.
about that, but yeah, I think the NFL out of the two that I named are definitely the most tame out of that. Like the Yankees, exactly what you're saying. I mean, they get every
Yeah.
dime they ever
And
asked
it's
for.
turning out to not work for them. They get a bunch of
Yeah.
fat and happy guys in their dugout, and they got nobody who's hungry.
Yeah,
They're all paid.
well, so like I feel like when I first started hearing about super teams, it actually first to me came through the Golden State Warriors. That was when I first was like, oh wow, this is like a super team because they just are, they had that stretch for like 5 years.
Miami was before then though.
Okay, yeah, and the Celtics, one could argue they had the big three or
Yeah. I
whatever.
think Miami really started it personally. That's the way I see it.
Because they did grab James. So yeah, what are you thinking about that? Like, I mean, would that
I think the NBA has a problem with super teams.
Okay.
Because I feel like small cap teams in the NBA don't have a chance. I'm a Cavs fan, and the only reason we've ever had a chance is because of LeBron. And every time LeBron leaves, it is hopeless. Hopeless. I mean, hopeless.
I mean, dude,
I have no expectations for the Cavs to ever be good anytime soon.
Dude, I'm a Houston City sports fan, so I mean, my entire life is just, it's
You guys
always
have never been good.
I mean, 95, 96, the Rockets did all right. I mean, back
and Harden was balling.
Well, yeah, with Harden, it was, but we always just got there. And the Texans are the same way. It's like the first round of the playoffs, everyone's all hyped. Maybe we'll make it the next round, and then that's it. Like pack it in,
you
boys.
guys got an interesting situation down there with the Texans right now,
huh? Deshaun Watson. You can't be.
I don't know what's going on. I don't know
why with that much clout. Like, Why are you DMing girl? Like, dude, girls will come. I mean, women will come to you if you are Deshaun Watson. I'm sorry, they just will. You don't have to.
Am I crazy? Is 50 massage therapists a lot? I mean, I'm honestly asking. Like, I believe it might be legit. I'm not crucifying the guy yet. I'm not calling him guilty yet.
Yeah, no. Their allegations, and the lawyer said he's got some like bombshell information that like could acquit him of everything.
Yeah.
So, I mean, who knows
But
with
50
that? But
masseuses, it's like, damn. Wouldn't you get your
yeah,
favorite at some point?
I mean, yeah, and after a while, it just gets annoying. I mean, it must just get annoying just being like, oh, another rejection. Shit, like it's like,
I
come
saw
on, dude.
something hilarious the other day. It said two of the massage therapists are meeting with the NFL to discuss the Deshaun Washington investigation. So the NFL is investigating it privately. And it said two of the massage therapists are meeting with the NFL, and Robert Kraft has
Uh,
asked to join the meeting.
Knew it, knew it, knew it. Oh, I knew it. They're like, nah, dude, you can't be like 50 yards within the building, dude. You get out
Like,
of here.
why crucify Deshaun Watson, but Kraft can pull this? The
Oh,
owners, like, come on, what's up with that?
money,
Hey,
money.
Robert Kraft. I don't know if you know about the Patriots investment, but the Patriots are such a good franchise. Do you know what Robert Kraft paid for the Patriots?
What?
Robert Kraft bought the Patriots for like 400 grand. Dude, Robert Kraft is a straight up G with it.
Oh my
Robert Kraft,
God.
actually, I know this because I work in a paper industry, and actually, Robert Kraft got his money from paper industry. He made a paper company called International Forest Products. They sell paper, they sell cardboard, they
Yeah.
sell forest products, and that's how he got his cake. But he bought the stadium that the Patriots played in, and they had a 20-year lease on the stadium way back in the day. This is way back in the day. He owned the stadium. They had a 20-year lease. And the owner of the Patriots was like, yo, I'm leaving. I'm going to a different state. I'm taking the team with me. And he's like, listen, you got a 20-year lease. You're not leaving. And the guy
Damn.
said, all right, well, I'll sell you the team and I'll make a new team elsewhere. And Robert Kraft goes,
What?
okay, I'll buy the team 400 grand. Buy the team for 400 grand.
Damn.
Now
That's
that team is
awesome.
worth billions, dog.
Yeah. Oh my
And
God.
that if you go to the Patriots game, they have like um they have a damn empire over there. I mean, that the
Yeah.
Patriots facility, it's like a whole
Oh
different
yeah.
town. Like, you go into their stadium, there's hotels, there's shopping. It's like a mall. It's not
It's like
like
a
going to a stadium.
community.
It's
Yeah.
like a whole empire that they have. It's like a little
Damn.
Patriots experience. Dude, the Patriots
Dude, that's a
they're locked in.
yeah. What was so speaking of so Tom Brady just hit 7.
I love Tom.
Um, is he the GOAT? I
He's
don't.
no doubt the GOAT, dog. And
Okay, I think
I don't know if
so.
you ever heard of the book, The Four Agreements.
Uh-uh.
The Four Agreements is a
Wait,
book.
I have
It's a
heard of
way.
that. I
It's a
have
way
heard.
of life.
Okay.
It's like, do your best, don't take things personally, don't make assumptions, blah blah blah. It's just four quick, simple ass agreements. That's why I like it. It's really simple and it's a good way to live life. And in the end, it just means do your best.
Yeah, yeah.
And Tom Brady said in an interview one time, they asked him some tough question about like haters or people who like say he cheated or something. And he said, listen, I live by the four agreements. I really
Yeah.
don't care. And
That's
I love that
awesome.
book. And I love
Oh,
that book. So I
man.
always messed with Tom Brady big time since I heard that. And I just really like the guy. I really like Tom Brady.
I like it. Okay, so last question of this one. Best athlete of all time. I'll give you mine just off the cuff what I'm thinking. And I have two, and it's either Michael Phelps or Tom Brady. So those would be my two just off the top of, I mean, the most decorated Olympian of all time, and like one of the most decorated
Oh, those are
sports.
definitely two good ones. But I love Tiger Woods. So I would like to
That's
put
good.
I
I
would
like
like to
that.
put Tiger Woods up there because Tiger Woods is a badass.
Close
Tiger Woods
second.
is badass.
Who's your close second?
I want to put my man LeBron in there, but
Broke your
But
heart.
if you're talking about like Michael Phelps, I mean, how can you say Michael Phelps isn't? Michael Phelps is a dog. Who else did you say?
I
Tom
said
Brady. Oh
Tom.
yeah, Tom Brady.
Yeah.
Tom Brady dominated the game, but actually, I'll give you Otto Graham. My boy Otto Graham was a Browns quarterback, won 10 championships.
Dude, I
Don't at
do.
me.
I listen to the Bill Burr podcast, and he goes through a lot of the stuff. And yes, I've heard of Otto Graham a few times. All right. Okay. Well, it is the first drink of Lunch Hour with Guests. So cheers, buddy. Got some water, got some
I got some
seltzer.
water. Yep.
Feeling good, feeling
Wait,
good.
you drink beers on your lunch, Grayson?
It is 5:58 my time. So Megan, if you're listening to this, I mean I am clocked out. All right. So what do you think? So all right, we're going a little, we're gonna go a little to the left or the right, or I don't know, taking a little
We're moving.
turn. Okay.
We're turning.
So we're gonna get a little political, and these are just questions. Everyone listening out there, these are just like opinions. So I mean, like, come on, you
We're
gotta be a
adults. Let's
little
talk.
open. You gotta be a little open minded, and that's what we're doing this for you, because you got to be open to talk. And even if Sawyer and I disagree, it's all words. All right.
Yes.
So obviously, the Derek Chauvin case just was announced. Big move in the justice system. I think big move in the political sphere in general.
Yep.
Thoughts overall? I mean, on the trial, on what
I
happened.
mean, I see it. I see every side, and I mean, I'm not mad the guy got proven guilty. I mean, I think what he did was wrong. I mean, I think I think to be a police officer, you got to be better at your job. We got to, just like a lifeguard, just like a lifeguard. If I was a lifeguard when I was a kid,
Mm-hmm.
and if I fell asleep at the chair and a kid drowned, I would probably see jail time for that. That's called negligent.
Yeah.
So if
Yeah.
you're a lifeguard and you fall asleep at the chair and somebody dies, I would see legal action. I would see legal penalties from that. And I think it's the same thing here. I mean, the guy, George was, resisting, but the cop, you got to get off him at some point, I would think, and you got to be less negligent, perhaps. So I don't mind seeing the guy be guilty. But yeah,
Dude, I mean, totally agree with you, and especially on the cop side of things, it does seem to be like getting like almost out of control. I don't know if you heard, but in Columbus, Ohio, there was
yeah,
another shooting, and I saw the body cam footage. I don't recommend anybody watch unless
yeah.
you can stomach it.
You have a stomach for it, right?
Yeah. But I mean, and even with the lady that was a cop for 22 years, and maybe she was just having a bad day, but she confused a taser for a gun.
Yeah, that's absurd. That's
But it's like you were saying, like if you fell asleep at the job, you could have gone to jail. I mean,
right.
and I feel like they should be held in that same contempt. I don't think that we should. I definitely don't think the response is to defund, like just take cops out of the picture at all.
Right, I agree with that
But
too.
I mean, like, yeah,
See,
some training. Yeah, what are your thoughts on that? Like, like
see,
solutions?
see, I really do care about the world. I care about all people. Yeah, I really
Yep,
do. And
it's
so I
obvious.
really do think about this stuff hard. I do. I think about this stuff hard.
Yeah.
How can you not really, if you are a person who cares, about the world and you see all this news constantly, how can you not give it some thought? So I definitely give this stuff some thought. Um, and I've given all this stuff a lot of thought, and I see the police killings, the wrongful killings. And I see that. I say, yeah, that guy's guilty, period. But I also see the other side where, like, I've seen multiple stories where the cop was justified for, like, say a
Mm-hmm.
cop kills somebody and it was
Yep.
justified.
Yep.
A cop
It
has killed somebody
happens.
and it was justified. And then the news will twist it and make it look a certain way. And all of a sudden, they just played that on the news.
Yeah.
So if you play something on the news, you got to understand potentially millions of people are going to see that.
Mm-hmm.
And when you come to find out that what you just played on the news was actually the cop didn't do anything wrong, that's when you have a problem with, media manipulation, media deception. And now it's like, hey guys, we can talk about these wrongful deaths, and we can give Chauvin the guilty, and we can put Chauvin in jail, and we can prosecute the wrong ones. But we gotta watch the spreading of false information when
Yeah.
it comes to ones that aren't bad.
Well, yeah. So I mean, and this is gonna go off a little bit of what I had written down, but I mean, with like the media, there definitely seems to be like um a narrative that's always spun either from the right or the left, and they always seem to have like a very opposing views. People call like centrist, like, like just, idiots for whatever reason. I don't get that, but like with all the like right wing media that's getting shut down, like Parler, that app got shut down. I personally don't agree with it. I don't think they should be. I think freedom of speech is like one of the most beautiful things we have. One of the
Sure.
most
No
beautiful things
doubt.
left. But it's just like capitalism. Like it can be misconstrued and taken apart and fucked up.
And that's
And
my worry. See,
yeah,
that's my big
yeah.
worry is I think if you think these cop killings are evil, I'll tell you what's really evil. Taking these cop killings, twisting the narrative of them, using citizens' real emotions about real big problems. Like that Chauvin, George Floyd's death was a really big problem.
Mhm.
And people were very emotional about it. But what would be really evil is if a political party took that situation, twisted the narrative, and tried to use it to benefit them in an election. So these people are taking narratives, they're taking real events. And
Mhm.
that's where I get scared for. That's where I get scared for the country.
Mhm.
Is guys, I agree that was horrible, but don't let an evil power take your emotions about a real thing that happened, twist the narrative, and use it to their advantage financially or politically. Like you got these companies coming out standing up against it, and they're the same companies that use China to their advantage using inhumane work conditions.
Well, yeah.
I just feel like there's so much to it, and it can get so deep and twisted, and it's just like all you can do is pray in the end that
Yeah.
good rises and evil
Well,
falls, I guess.
so
But
on your point, actually, so what China is doing to there's a Xinjiang province, and I know that sounds like I just said a racial slur, but I'm telling you that's how it's spelled. But they are literally they're taking all the Muslim population, are forcing them into labor and re-educate. Like they're like,
I heard
you
about this.
cannot be like Muslim anymore. And like the Apple factories have like suicide nets. I mean, that's a tiny red flag there. I mean, I don't know many I don't know
Yeah,
many
and
businesses with yeah.
I'm actually working on a bit of a political post. I don't know if you ever watched my guy Russell Brand.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
I love the guy. He's
yeah.
a really smart guy. He's really into localization against globalization, which is something I really agree with.
Hmm.
I think we should be eating local and using resources from locally around us and not just buying
Yeah.
stuff from China. Oh crap.
Oh no, you're good.
Am I still good?
Yeah, yeah,
I lost
yeah.
you though, Grayson. I lost
Oh
you though.
dang.
Wait a
Huh.
minute.
You okay? No,
Crap.
you're on fire, man. This guy gets calls, dude. People need to make deals with Sawyer.
This is my girlfriend. She's a real estate agent. They tried to call her and her phone's connected to this. Man, I lost you, Grayson. But anyway, I don't need to see you. I've
Okay,
seen
no
you
worries.
enough.
My ex
but
said the same thing.
but where was I at? I mean, I forget.
Localization and globalization
Oh
with
yeah,
Russell
yeah.
Brand. Yep.
So yeah, we got these other countries that we're doing business with. It's like, guys, this I saw someone post "Stop Asian Hate" in a font that Nike commonly use on their website because it was a sneaker page. It was a sneaker page that posted "Stop Asian Hate," and I'm all for stop Asian hate. I'm against hate. I love all
Yeah,
people.
but
Get
that's
it.
ironic. I
But it's
mean,
ironic that you said "Stop Asian Hate" in a font that the Nike company
yeah.
uses on their app.
Oh, I
Man,
totally agree with you,
it's
man. I
like
know, I
that's a little
totally agree
ironic.
with you. Yeah, like that's no, that's so stupid. That's a really dumb thing to do.
I got you back. I got you back.
You gotta have like you gotta see the irony in that. Like, come
Yeah.
on, when you're like putting that out there. Okay, so yeah, like that's definitely big issues, and with that, gun control has been a giant topic with all this. The AR-15, how it looks versus like where it's used for. The and that goes with kind of what you're saying in the news, the advert of the news on demand with now that we have news in our pockets, like mass shootings and stuff, it comes up bigger and it trends more and we see it more. I mean, what are your thoughts on like overall gun control and whatnot?
Well, yeah. I mean, I think the world, as far as news being in your pocket, I think the world's using how to use social media. The world had to learn how to use phones. Everybody thought phones were going to end the world. Everybody thought TVs were going to end the world. Now everybody thinks social media is going to end the world. I think we just have to learn how to
I
use it.
like that. I
I think
like
we just
that
had to figure
point.
it
Yeah,
out.
yeah,
People thought phones were going to end the world. People
yeah.
thought the black and white TV would ruin socialness.
I like that a lot.
This is not new. We just got to
Yeah.
learn how to use it. But that's what I think. I think it can be healthy. I think it can be very positive. But as far as the gun, you asked me about gun control.
Yeah, I mean, just overall thoughts. I mean, it is relatively accessible, and that's where I guess that's where my like biggest. I'm like, okay, let's like start to tether the access a bit, but I also
Yeah,
am with the stance like, hey, if you take away people's guns, and
yeah.
I'm not for that because I truly think there. You think some criminal, some like petty thief is gonna be like, oh yeah, here I'll mail it in, like here we are, like he's not
Gun
even.
control is hairy.
Yeah,
Gun
it's a.
control is flat out hairy. It is an honest debate.
Yep.
If you're debating taking away guns, I don't think you're evil. I understand your debate. I understand your point. But at the other side, I also understand the other side. The Second Amendment was, if you look at the Second Amendment, it doesn't only say we can be armed. It says we can form militias. We can
Mhm.
prepare a militia. I
Yep.
can get a million friends together and we can all get our guns rounded up together. Technically, by the Second Amendment, currently the current laws would allow me to get a million of my friends rounded up, buy a big old warehouse, buy 100,000 ARs. We all have ARs. We all have ammo, and we're full. We have Hummers in there. We're full blown ready to go to war. We're allowed to assemble a militia, compared as far as the Second Amendment says.
Yeah.
So AR-15s with 30 round clips. That's the big question, right?
Yeah.
Nobody's questioning handguns. You're allowed to have a handgun for the most part. Nobody's
Mhm.
questioning handguns. I think the main debate is 30 round clips in an AR-15.
Yep. Yep.
So it's an honest question, because if someone walks into a store with an AR-15, they got 30 rounds. You can do damage with that.
Yep. Yep.
It's really hairy, but I'm not an expert, but I've listened to a lot of experts and I've listened to both sides, and both sides make truly valid arguments. It's a tough one.
Dude,
If I had to say right now, the Second Amendment was made so that at no point the government could out arm the citizens. And
mhm.
that's where I'm at right now. I don't trust this world. America is in a very weird place right now. And if you go to other countries, they're in either even weirder places. I'm ready to bail out of this country if it comes down to it.
Yeah.
So
Well, like with the AR-15s, a lot like I hate to say it, but I think that a big problem with it is how it looks. I really
yeah,
do. I think it looks like. I mean, it looks like you're like, oh my gosh, it
they look
looks
raw.
like what if you just put like some, I don't know, like some like wooden paneling on it? I don't know. I mean, I feel like there's some.
The most dangerous assault rifle of them all is famous for having wood paneling on it, the
Wow,
AK-47.
yeah, yeah, yeah. That might not be the best. Yeah, yeah. Well, that's true.
But
So
it's a tough one. It's a tough one.
yeah,
But if I had to say for now, keep your ARs with 30 rounds. If I had to say, if it was my decision, if it
yep.
was my decision to make the law, I would say keep your ARs at this point.
I feel you. Last one in the political sphere. So we had Trump. Now we have Biden. It obviously some bad and good could go to both sides. Like, what are you thinking, man?
So you're talking about between Trump and Biden?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry, I spaced out. I was thinking about something, but
No worries.
between Trump and Biden, man, I just think it's sad that those are our two options. I
Okay.
think we have so many problems, man. I really think we have so many problems. I would vote for Trump over Biden. If I had to vote right now for Trump or Biden, I would vote for Trump.
Oh,
I
I think I
appreciate
would
what,
agree with you honestly on that.
yeah.
Might.
But if I had to pick somebody else other than Biden, I wouldn't pick Trump if I had to hand select somebody.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, but yeah, it's a tough one. I would pick Trump over Biden. I liked what Trump was doing against China. He tariffed China. He was fighting back. He was punching
Yeah.
countries in the mouth. From what I understand, he did a lot of positive things.
Yeah. No.
Biden, I just you hear the left talk about white privilege a lot and white supremacy, and that's their concern. It's a valid concern. It's a valid concern. It really is. There's white people are in a lot of power, and black people have been oppressed, and other races have been oppressed, and it's real. And because my family has never had to break out of slavery, so we had a head start in that kind of way, and
Mm-hmm.
our culture is healthier for that. Like I think a lot of the black culture, I think there is unhealthiness, and I don't blame the black culture for the unhealthiness within their culture. They were oppressed, and that's what led to crime within their community, stuff
Mm-hmm.
like that. So I don't blame the black community for being in the situation. And I pray they can, I pray like my neighborhood, which is 100% white, is 50-50 one day.
Yeah.
But Biden, so everybody's saying white supremacy. Look at Hunter Biden.
Oh
Hunter
my
Biden is
God.
getting paid millions of dollars.
Fucking guy.
That is a fact. Did you see those
Dude,
pictures that just came out?
yeah,
This
he's
dude,
having
he
like a
wasn't like a kid drug
threesome.
addict. Like,
He's having like a threesome with a Squirtle thing. He's
bro,
fucking
yeah,
he's
it
smoking
wasn't like, and
crack.
it wasn't like he was us. It wasn't like he was me and you. He wasn't like me and you, like we were drug addicts when we were 16 and we got into a bunch of drugs when we were
Yeah.
20. This man's 50 years old with his teeth
Oh
falling
yeah.
out.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, it's
and
crazy.
this guy who's 50 years old smoking crack like crazy with his teeth falling out.
And also
He's getting paid these dollars from
he
Kuwait.
he fucked and married his dead brother's wife, which I always thought, among like siblings, that was like kind of the ultimate. I mean,
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine betrayal like that.
I mean, but then you got him getting paid all this money, and that's what Trump was asking Ukraine to investigate when they tried to impeach him the first time. He was asking them to investigate that situation with that company, Burisma and Joe Biden. And that's when they tried to impeach him. And it's like, hey, why are you guys freaking out about him trying to investigate Hunter Biden? I mean, it seems pretty sketchy. You guys are like, it's just so crazily corrupt.
Yeah. And one thing on the differences, one thing that I always bring up that's like the kids in cages, it's just they're in different cages right now. Nobody says anything about it. And I was like, where's my pictures of AOC?
See, I don't
crying?
want bullshit.
Yeah.
I want real.
Yeah.
I don't want bullshit. See, I can't stand when the government is bullshitting us like that. See, like AOC, you're gonna come out and say all these things about Trump having kids in cages, but whoever you support's in office, you forget about it. That shows. I'm not saying you should care now. I'm saying it shows you never cared back then. You were just trying to make him look bad.
I actually like that. That was really good. Damn, that was really not that you never cared. You didn't care in the first place. I like that.
We were just trying to make Trump look bad. Like we really need to focus on humanity. Yeah. Like my man Russell Brand, I really like Russell Brand. Like this man has good vibes. Like we need to step back. Like we need to govern the world so that people can thrive. Like we don't need to buy everything from China. We need to say we need to hold China accountable and say, how can we possibly be a healthy country if we do business with evil countries? How can we possibly be healthy and fully humane? How can we expect our entire society to be humane if we are so intertwined and do so much business with inhumane companies? See, we go to China to compete. We go to China to get cheap labor. We go to China to get cheap goods. So how can we, if all of our big companies are going to these inhumane countries to compete, how can we possibly expect our country to be fully healthy? If that's what we're doing.
Well, because you're fucking up like how you're basically fucking up the whole principle of imports versus exports. If you move your plant into another country, then you're like, I don't know. It really
does
a
lot of things.
It screws up the GDP overall. I mean, it's terrible.
There are people here who want to make shoes, Nike. There are people here who want to make shoes, but you're doing it for nothing over there. That fucks up the world. That fucks up the whole balance of everything. If you're going to do business, we got to cut them off. Yeah. So, hey, China, until you get humane, we got to cut you off. Period.
On that note, we're going to the second drink. So, cheers, buddy.
Yeah, get me off that topic.
I feel it. No. I like riled up, man. I enjoy it. This is good. This is good. So let's go over to a little bit of stocks, okay? So stocks, baby. So we got crypto craziness, electric vehicle bubbles, delivery driver insanity. What are you looking at in the market today? Like, are there any bubbles that you personally see right now? Like I personally see one in the electric vehicle company. Are there any like stocks that you like?
Tesla's bubble?
I don't think Tesla is. I think there's a lot of competitors in there, though. The ones that promise production but can't produce anything.
Yeah, I have questions about Tesla too.
Yeah.
It's like their PE, their price earnings is so high compared to their market cap that if they don't take over the fucking world, they're gonna go down. is what it seems like.
Yeah.
Like they
But
better take over the world or else their stock price is going to go down.
what do you
Like
look at?
they better get to a $20 trillion market cap, right? I mean,
It's
but
gotta be.
anyway,
Stocks only
I'll give
go
you my
up.
basic idea of what I see stocks right now. I think stocks are very weird right now. And I've been following stocks since I was at Northwest Academy with you. I learned stocks at North. I don't know if you knew, we weren't like the best buds at Northwest Academy.
No,
We knew each other, but we weren't
yeah.
like tight like that. But I was actually learning stocks the whole time at Northwest. I was reading Warren Buffett books, Peter Lynch books.
Oh,
So
nice.
I've been watching stocks for a long time. I'll tell you some buys. I bought IPGP at Northwest Academy. That's like
Nice.
200%. I bought iRobot at Northwest Academy. That blasted.
Nice.
I made some picks at Northwest Academy when I was reading these books, man.
Damn.
But so the stock market is so weird right now. I consider us still basically in the longest bull market of all time. Technically, the bull market has ended.
Yeah.
Technically, the bull market ended when COVID started and we dipped like what, 30%?
Yeah, yeah.
So technically, by definition, the bull market ended. The
Yep.
bull market that started in 2009. So we crashed in 2009. The market started recovering.
Made it a decade. I mean, first time ever.
Wait, what was that?
We made it a decade. Technically, it was the first
In a
time
bull
ever
market.
that we had made it a decade without a bear market. Yeah.
Yeah. And because we went so low. So I understand, like, we went so low in 2009 that maybe that justifies how long the recovery was and how long this bull market was.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that could be it. And it was a slow recovery. If you ask Donald Trump, it was a slow recovery. A lot of people say it's been a slow, gradual recovery. So that contributes to the long bull market. And so technically it's not over because it was a V-shaped recovery. So I really don't consider the bull market ended. We're basically in a 12-year bull market right now. And it's just really hard to gauge because the average bull market lasts 5 years. So it's like, are we due for a crash? What's going on here? And now you throw in another variable. We just printed what, $13 trillion. So that, I mean, I don't even know how much we printed. I really don't. That was a complete guess. But we just printed all that money. So how does that affect stocks? I've heard a lot of people say, yeah, the US dollar is obviously going to be devalued. And whether that's, whether it's rational or not, that we did do it. And that could make stocks go up. It's definitely, I would rather be in the S&P 500 than cash.
Yeah. And with that, I think a lot of people don't think about like how much we can put into our long-term deficit, which gets expanded like quite a bit. So, I mean, we have, I mean, we do like any business. I mean, we have some short-term deficit that we have to pay some countries back soon. But I know there's some long-term. I mean, there's like back in the 70s, we were like, oh, we owed the Ottoman Empire that wasn't even around anymore, and we were like, wait, what the fuck? Like, we don't, like, who the fuck are we gonna pay? Like, you can't pay the Ottoman Empire. Like, so I feel like there's probably a lot.
So are you less concerned about the deficit? Is that
yeah? I mean, after we got off the gold standard and everything, I know I sound like a boomer when I say that, but I mean, when we left, like, really the value of the dollar is just such a weird thing now, right? I mean, it's just like, how do you value it? We're so much in debt already that there's to a point that it's going to be like a bankruptcy thing where they're going to be like, all right, you know what? Let's just start from like, so, and I'm speculating.
I think that points to stocks going up from it.
Oh, yes. Yeah. And I'm sorry, that was your question. Yeah. I think, yes. I think we're gonna enjoy another at least 2 to 5 years of growth before we enter something like, I mean,
very reasonable.
And then, like, I mean, Dave Portnoy, I don't know. At the
same time, it could crash. It could crash every day as well.
I don't know how you feel about like Dave Portnoy, but he's always like, stocks only go up, and I'm like, no, they're actually like more cyclical. It's more like a.
Well, if you look at the history.
Yes, yeah. If you look at the history, that's why you just get in now, because if you like the company,
always gone up in history.
Yeah, like, I mean, if you think they're gonna sell out of Coca-Cola in 50 years, then yeah, I don't know, maybe not get in the stock, but they probably aren't, so you might want to get in.
The fact is, over history, 100% of the time, every time, 100% of the time. Not one time did it not eventually go back up in regards to the S&P 500 and the Dow Jones.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, we need one of those like end of the world. We need like a 2012 movie or one of those endings. Like that's when I'll be like,
But then
damn
again,
it, I was wrong.
I say with all this crazy shit going on, who knows what's going on? But then the other part of my brain says, The Big Short. I don't know if you watched The Big Short or read The Big Short.
Yeah. I should.
Three dudes saw that coming, or like three groups of people saw that coming. Like
nobody
saw that coming.
Yeah, nobody else.
These guys are just guys. Well, and if you think the media, like CNN and Fox and whatever, if you think they're corrupt, you better believe all the articles you see when you get on your stock app are corrupt.
Oh, well, and dude, they were like telling everybody. They were like, "This is all wrong." The guy raised his hand in that like Lehman Brothers meeting or something. And he was like, "You guys are fucking like wrong here." Yeah. Oh, that was a great movie.
They're just dudes. These guys running these banks and controlling all the power of the world and all the finance. They're just dudes. And if the wrong straw gets pulled out of the pile, dude, who knows what could happen? I mean, so that's why I'm tentative. I like land.
I love that. I did. I worked for like a real estate investment.
Yep.
Yeah. So
real estate is what if I had to tell you to buy something, I'd tell you to buy gold and real estate because they're not printing more land. They cannot print 1 trillion more miles of land.
I like it.
They can't make any more.
Hey,
got to get land.
Cheers to land. Cheers to land, man. So last drink of the pod, buddy. So well, one second.
Yeah, down that shit, dude.
We just got X-rated really quick. Sawyer, Sawyer, what's next for you, man? What's going on for you next, man? What's
next for me?
Yeah,
grinding out of this job.
Yep.
Man, I'm trying to get big as hell in the gym.
Fuck yes, I love it.
I'm trying to get jacked.
I love it.
I'm trying to get jacked. I'm trying to eat good food.
Yeah.
I'm trying to stack up some money, save a little money, but not save too much money. I'm trying to go on a trip.
Nice.
I'm trying to go to the Bahamas, dude.
Ooh.
Honestly, I've been trying to go to Atlantis with my girl for 2 years. But I don't want to go sit in Atlantis with a mask on.
Isn't that under the sea? Isn't that
no, Atlantis? No, Atlantis is the famous resort in the Bahamas. Like 60% of the Bahamas works at Atlantis.
My dumbass was like, dude, you're gonna have to wait like way more than 2 years for that one. Nice.
Atlantis, dude, you got to Google Atlantis. It is like the most amazing resort.
Hell yeah!
Huge casino. I'm trying to go there, man. I'm trying to go on a nice trip.
Hey, Atlantis Resorts. I mean, if you need, if you're looking to sponsor a podcast, I'm right here, buddy. Okay. Well, dude, it sounds like you got some goals, man. And that's awesome to hear. Before we go, anything to plug, anything that you like, any of your channels that you like any of the listeners to
actually follow me. Just follow my personal Instagram. I'm starting to post politics on my personal Instagram. I'm basically just saying whatever I want to say. I think people gotta be done being scared to talk. Like, even if you voted for Trump, even if you voted for Biden, we can't be scared to say this stuff. There are great people who voted for both sides. And I feel like our medias are twisting stuff to make us be scared to have opinions. Like, the medias have twisted saying anything into you are a bigot, you are a racist, or you are Antifa.
100 did. I didn't.
Everybody. So I'm saying I'm trying to be a free speech guy. So if you want to see your boy talking, follow me on Soybean330 on Insta. And then I got my Sawyer Talks page on so I'm just gonna be posting only political stuff on there. And then
Sire Shoes.
I talk about sneakers.
Sir. Yeah, and if anyone listening out there, if you liked anything that you heard today, especially what Sawyer's saying, follow him, and it's a lot of the same kind of talking points, and it's very cool. They're short.
Actually,
videos.
Grayson, you covered my bases, man. I like stocks, I like business, I like sports, and I talk politics. Did you mean to do that?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I watched all your
stuff.
Your boy. I saw the frogs. I liked them.
The freedom frogs.
Yeah.
Oh my God. There he is right there.
Oh yeah. Show it for the YouTube. Check this out on YouTube, guys.
The freedom frog.
One.
This guy promotes free speech.
Yes, sir.
This guy is all about free speech and freedom.
I love it. I love it. Yeah, guys, you go check out his channel. The last video that I saw was like about 13 minutes. So if you're looking
I'm gonna
for
try to
some,
shorten them up though. I'm gonna try to shorten them up
you
though.
want to move. Okay, yeah. I mean, if you guys want like a quick dose of it, he's gonna shorten up. So, dude, well, hey, man, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you, bro.
Yeah, I'll contact you right after this. But guys, you can go to bizbitesandmore.com for any of the blog content. We do podcasts about 3 times a week. You can catch that anywhere you hear podcasts. I got the Twit machine going. I just tweet about stocks all day at BizBites and More. And then, yeah, Lunch Hour with Guest. If you're watching it, it's on YouTube. And that is a wrap for Lunch Hour with Guest, Volume 8. Sawyer, my man.
Thank you, Grayson.
Thanks
And thank
again.
you, anybody who does follow me. I appreciate it. If you listen to me, I appreciate you so much.
Yes, sir.
Thank you all, man.
All right, dude. I'll talk to you later, man.
All right, brother.
Later. Thanks,
See ya.
man.